Yep, when they say 2:30, they mean 2:30.
Well, I just had a new mortgage, new baby, and I'm like, if I was single and, a little bit years old,
so if you ever ride on any of Reading and Northern's trips, you can count on being on time. They're very good with that. Alright, so we are now heading south. You'll notice I'm on the right side of the car now, and I'm facing forward. So the snack bar is right through that door there. And we're heading to Port Clinton, to one of my favorite places. We're heading to the Steam Shop to see 425 and 2102. And just 2 weeks from tomorrow, on Saturday, August 13th, they will be doing a double header, pulling the Iron Horse Rambles from Reading to Jim Thorpe, and you can count on me being there to chase.
How long do you have for a full return? Nothing big deal. Look at it right there, right? But so few people, percentage-wise, are being affected. We got it. It's not a big deal. We need to do some camping.
This is a pretty wobbly section of track here. It almost feels like being on a boat. I don't know how well the camera's conveying that, but yeah, it's an interesting section of track. I would love to have one of those houses with the front porch. So this is Cressona that we're coming back into. We'll pass through the Cressona yard, go past all those tanker cars, pass through Schuylkill Haven, and then our next stop will be Port Clinton.
Yeah, we sat down and oh yeah. That's not real.
This is my past day.
There's one for sale. One can dream. pulling into Schuylkill Haven, slowing down to cross the road and pass through the station, and you'll see once again on my right, we'll get another look at these recently purchased rail cars. This may be the last time we get to see them in their current paint schemes. Find out what that tall building is. It really, it's an interesting building, but it looks really out of place in a small town like this. Alright guys, you can tell we're that. I'm tired. You can tell we're back in Port Clinton now. There's one of the former Norfolk Southern diesels. There's one of the little switchers. There's my 1542. Ah, there's the dome car getting painted. So we're on a different track than we were this. No, we're not. We're on the same one. Never mind. Or are we? Taking a look at the diesel shop here. Yeah, I guess we're on the same track. Duh. They must have moved 1542. I thought I remembered it being on this side. And there's an F unit that's seen better days. Would love to see that get fixed up and running again. And there's its partner over there. I believe those are both F7As. So now we're going to have to reverse and back up to the steam shop.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. That was the name of the area. That was the opera, right? What's that all from? was converted from truck to
They restored those a few years with the executive committee. My neighbor, his father-in-law, was former.
Probably the body's good now.
Yeah.
Several months later, he says to me, "Hey, I asked him, we were out for the weekend with the kids." He says, "I have no budget." So well, let's say, do it.
All right, folks, we're shoving back up our main track. We're going to stop at the Steam Shop for us to take a little bit of a tour. We're going to have those of you that have green on your tickets, you're going to be touring the Steam Shop first. And those of you with yellow on your tickets are going to be touring our wheel truing shop first. So once we get stopped here at the Steam Shop, we'll have you detrain at the middle doors, and we'll form groups outside the train. Steam Shop is next.
There's our buddy there. He's been chasing us back down.
I don't know. 50, there's 40 people in there, you can't get in. Apparently so. They're breaking it. This isn't
And here's the Steam Shop, guys. This is where my two favorite steam engines of all time, 425 and 2102, live. And I am with the yellow group that they mentioned, gold, yellow. So I will be touring the wheel truing shop first, which is that building there. Yeah, and then we'll come back, save the best for last, visit our steam engines. I had to get a good look at that water tanker because I got to build that in N scale. There's a better look at the turntable than I was able to give you from ground level. It's big enough for 425, but not for 2102. Yeah, it's definitely raining more now, guys. Luckily, these are both indoor tours. Not sure what this is here.
What's that, huh?
You want to lock it for
They built in-house. It's battery powered. And they use it to move locomotives and cars into the shop, so we don't have to run a locomotive into that's on. Feel free to walk around. Do mind the pit. I recommend you walk around this side of the car mover because it's a little bit oily on this side. Otherwise, it's yours to explore.
Thank you.
Hey,
How
thanks.
many different traction motors do you stock?
It varies. It depends.
Are these rebuilds or new?
I believe they're
So what they do is there's a fire power
So actually, this caught my eye, guys. You know what these are? These are the window frames and window for that dome car they're restoring. Number 5, I believe. I didn't get a good look at it from my side of the RDC, but looks like they have it near the station undercover. They painted it. They're probably lettering and numbering it now. And this North Shore switcher, it's funny how much bigger these switchers look when you get them indoors. I'm guessing this is former Erie Lackawanna, has that paint scheme. I always love that paint scheme. One of my favorites in all of railroading. So that's a nice treat to see this year. They do work for other railroads here. I didn't quite get the camera on quick enough for the intro, but obviously what he said is what I already mentioned. This is the wheel truing shop. It's fairly new. It's one of their newer buildings here. And they'll service locomotives, I guess, for pretty much anybody, plus their own stuff. And this is pretty much the same, I believe the same type of switcher as my Reading and Northern number 1542 in N scale. Looks a heck of a lot bigger in real life, doesn't it? This is beautiful. And as we've learned from other videos, that's the front. This is the front of the diesel. This is obviously the machine where they would drive the diesel or the set of wheels over to actually do the truing. I've never seen that in operation. I gotta imagine you'd need safety glasses, ear protection. It's gotta be pretty loud. As you can see, that goes pretty deep down there. Got the critter over there on the other side. I really love this switcher here, guys. I think I need one of these in the Erie Lackawanna paint scheme and N scale. I think they make them too. Maybe I gotta look for one. It's just really beautiful. Alright guys, that was pretty cool. Got to see a little more of that today than I did on my last trip here. And it was nice to actually be able to hear from some of the guys, the work involved. So it turns out it's quieter than I would have thought. Still raining lightly here. It's actually giving a nice shine to our budliners. I love these RDCs, guys. It's hard to believe there was a time in my life I got to see these almost every day. And then I went decades without seeing them, especially not running ones. And Reading and Northern's got 3 of them running right now, 2 of them here today. I don't know where 9167's hiding. Haven't seen it anywhere. Sometimes it's parked up in Pottsville. But don't forget, they got 3 more on the way. Getting anxious to see them, but I know I gotta wait patiently till they arrive. That's just so cool, guys. Not many railroads are running them anymore. And, you know, even more than the steam engines, they really bring back those childhood memories. That was my childhood, watching Bud cars run. Even though you gotta love steam engines even more. There's room in my life for a lot of trains. And here's my 2 favorite of the favorite. And they are going to be running together on August 13th, and I will be chasing it. Hey.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the cat?
And here she is, all put back together, looking beautiful. We saw her run in Mountaintop a couple weeks ago, from Mountaintop to Jim Thorpe and back. As of the time I'm recording this, July 29th, those videos haven't aired, but they are in the queue for next week. You'll be seeing a lot of 425. And you'll be seeing that before you see this video. There she is, guys. Still my favorite, even though I love 2102.
That's right.
Gotta switch cameras. Alright, now that I'm inside and out of the rain, I can get back onto the pocket camera, which has the smoother pan, but it's not as waterproof. Hence why I've been putting it away all day. And so last time I visited here, you remember 425 was a little further back in the shop. Her tender was outside. And I found out she was getting a new smokestack that day. Can't really get a good look at it from here, but she sure looked and sounded good when she was running the other week. So as of now, she'll have 4 runs this year. And I plan to chase 3 of them and buy a ticket for the 4th to ride behind her. There's her cab. We've been in there. Actually, I never gave you guys a proper video of that. I've been in there, and just the circumstances were not ideal for video that day. But here's a look. There's the tender. Now this one does not have a stoker. You got to shovel the coal the old-fashioned way on this one, which is by hand. So you can see now that I've walked around, you can see how much shorter 425 is than 2102. Because 2102's tender keeps on going. So it's hard to give you these views all at once, but this is the best side-by-side comparison I've seen so far. It wasn't a fair comparison on the last visit because 425's tender was out in the yard. And I didn't walk back this far. Everybody was having their lunch break, and you know, I wanted to give them their space. It's the back of 2102. It's about 6 years and $2.4 million to restore this, but man, it was worth every penny. Easy to say it wasn't my money, but she just looks brand new. She looks fantastic. Oh, look at this. They're letting us in the cab. That's what I was hoping for. Alright, I don't usually like standing on line, but for this, I don't mind. We're back around to the front of 2102 again.
We pulled a 100-car coal train with it already.
Yeah, What you heard him just say, guys, about the 100-car Coltrane, that is a test I regrettably missed. The one that I filmed, if you remember, I think it was back in late April, early May, I forget the date. It was 50 empty coal cars. And there was another test where they did do 100. And I don't know the specifics of it. I forget what I was doing that day, but it was a day that there was no way I could change my plans, so I unfortunately missed it. Perhaps there'll be another chance someday. But I've definitely gotten to see her run a lot this year. I've really enjoyed every second of it. Alright, it's just gonna have to wait our turn till we can go in the cab here. Alright, it's our turn.
You know,
The original engine was 1921 that they built.
Did you hear that, guys? Original 1921, and it looks brand new in there, inside and out.
seeing. I hear something. This is an eye.
Hey, now this is cool, guys. We're in the cab at 2102, and we're looking right over at 425's cab. Kind of get to show you both. I've been in that cab. Oh, look at this. They got the firebox doors open for us. So that's where all the magic happens, guys. That's what the inside of the firebox looks like. And you guys know I gotta check out the seat here. I didn't get to sit in the seat last time. This would be the view going down the tracks. Imagine these running side by side. I see my dream come true out the front. That's what I see. Got 425 alongside us here. We'll be seeing them run together in a couple weeks. But they'll be running together, not side by side. Could someone... I would be thrilled if someone would take my picture in the seat. Alright guys, I had to get my picture. Now this one does have a stoker, so you don't have to shovel manually like you do with 425. Got the fireman's seat here. Got to take a seat in that one too. And just like my tour of the big boy cab, guys, I'm not even going to try this time to guess what things do. I think I need to educate myself.
That's good, perfect.
I know the fire goes there, and that you shouldn't climb in there.
Yeah, see how that looks.
That's great.
Okay.
Got about 1 million dials and gauges. Alright, I'm going to turn the video off, snap a few stills, because I think our turn's up here. I'm not allowed to move in. Can you believe that? I'm not allowed to move in. Just kidding. I really do enjoy coming here. And I know I'll be here again. And I still got a Bud car ride back to Reading to enjoy. Because you know I love these too, so here we go. Alright, they've closed up shop pretty fast. I don't blame them. It's the end of their work day.
That's why Jill said got out and said she got out.
There's the dump car. Yep, that is undercover. Looks like that thing will be finished and in service pretty soon, guys. This is the station building, but I'm going to pan over here to the diesels and the diesel shop. And the car shop's on the other side of the tracks, but I didn't see anything worth panning over for since I don't have as good a view that way. And I overheard another passenger say they might be trying to take these two F units and make one good one out of them. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's a good theory. I still haven't decided where my Hamburg filming location is going to be for the doubleheader. It may be that bridge after all, because I did talk to somebody who told me a safe place to park if I'm going to do that, even though I know a lot of people do park on the highway. I'd really rather not park on the highway. Yeah, we'll see. It's either going to be that or Lowland Road, I think. Lowland Road is tricky with the parking too, though. Coming up is that trail bridge that I was telling you about. That has potential, but I don't want to do it until I scout how far it is from the parking lot. I suspect it's a little too far to walk, so probably want a bike or a scooter for it.
tell me.
Oh, boy, you're up there. Cool. Single track.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Alright guys, this is Leesport coming up. This is one of the spots I filmed 2102. It's a great rail fanning spot. I'll probably be back again for the doubleheader.
Corn really looks good out here. Corn really looks good out here.
Up above, yeah. The bottom part is I've seen that.
As we cross the Schuylkill River, we're now entering the yard limits at North Reading. We'll be arriving back at Outer Station in just a few minutes. On behalf of your entire crew today, your engineer Rich, your conductor Briar, your car hosts Jimmy and Eric, my name is Josh. Thank you for riding with us on the Blue Mountain Northern Railroad. Join us again sometime soon and safe travels home.
Alright, you heard the announcement, guys. We are almost back to Reading Outer Station in North Reading. And I'll tell you what, this is the second time I've finished an all-day ride on the Bud cars. It's about 5 hours on the train. Here's my 5049. That's one of my N scale. It's an SD50. 5 hours on a Bud car, guys. It's still not enough. I could ride these things forever. And if you've ever ridden one, definitely treat yourself to it someday. I mean, if you're not a rail fan, these may look pretty ordinary, but trust me, they're really very comfortable, very nice to ride. And here we start to see the cars in the yard. A nice string of Railbox cars now. And I'd have to go back to this morning's footage, but I'm pretty sure there was another train on the tracks between us and this row of boxcars. And that's probably the consist for the daily North Reading Fast Freight. And if that's the case, that would explain why it's not here now. Because that would have run through, that would have had to pass through Port Clinton anywhere from about half an hour to an hour before we arrived. So that's my guess. That's what that was. That's alright. We get to see some different cars this time through the yard. I'll tell you, the only reason I keep pointing out the Railbox cars in my videos, I remember when my dad bought me my N-scale Railbox car, which I still have. He had also bought the same one for my sister. And even though I had other trains and cars before that, I don't really seem to remember getting them as clearly as I do the Railbox. I think it was just something about how clearly I remember getting it and how excited I was to get it. And like every time I see a real Railbox, those memories come back up.
And that's why they had to change CSA.
And now I know where we are again. We're paralleling Route 61, and the station is just ahead. So I'll do a formal outro at the station, but this was really fun, guys. I really enjoyed this, despite the weather. There's my buddy again. So I had one friend rail fanning me. Didn't know he was coming, but that was a cool surprise. Alright guys, I'll wrap it up outside. I figure I've already spent the whole day. What's a couple more minutes to catch one more run, and then I'll do my outro. Alright, so what they're doing, guys, is just moving them past that switch. They'll throw the switch, and then they'll move them back in the parking lot where we started our day. And I'll do my outro where I did my intro. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the Anthracite Ramble, which was a charter run in conjunction with the National Museum of Industrial History in Bethlehem, which is somewhere I've definitely got to get back to and do some filming for you guys. I had a lot of plans there before the pandemic. Those plans got put on hold, but I do want to get back to it. So I'm going to wrap this up now and get myself home. And I just want to say, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the tracks.